I'd like to read a series of 4 sonnets. Sonnet, of course, is again something that the poet imposes on, in this case, herself. It would be Edna St. Vincent Millay, a series of sonnets from the Epitaph for the Race of Man. I'm sure everybody out there knows what an epitaph is. Something you write on a gravestone that sums up and tells why this person was worthy and what he had to be proud of. I guess Edna St. Vincent Millay decided to consider what's to be said when the race of man is no longer in existence. What can we write on mankind's tombstone that sums up what we are and who we are? I like these poems because they make me think. They force me to think. I hope they force you to think as well. Epitaph for the Race of Man, number 8. Observe how Mayanoshita cracked in two and slid into the valley. He that stood grinning with terror in the bamboo wood saw the earth heave and thrust its bowels through the hill, and his own kitchen slide from view, spilling the warm bowl of his humble food into the lap of horror. Mark how lewd this cluttered gulf. 'Twas here his paddy grew. Dread and dismay have not encompassed him. The calm sun sets. Unhurried and aloof into the riven village falls the rain. Days pass. The ashes cool. He builds again his paper house upon oblivion's brim and plants the purple iris in its roof. Number 9. Sonnet number 9. He woke in terror to a sky more bright than middle day. He heard the sick earth groan and ran to see the lazy smoking cone of the fire mountain, friendly to his sight as his wife's hand, gone strange and full of fright. Over his fleeing shoulder it was shown, rolling its pitchy lake of scalding stone upon his house that had no feet for flight. Where did he weep? Where did he sit him down and sorrow with his head between his knees? Where, said the race of man, here let me drown, here let me die of hunger, let me freeze? By nightfall he has built another town, this boiling pot, this clearing in the trees. And sonnet number 10. The broken dike, the levee washed away, the good fields flooded and the cattle drowned, estranged and treacherous all the faithful ground, and nothing left but floating disarray of tree and home uprooted. Was this the day man dropped upon his shadow without a sound and died, having labored well, and having found his burden heavier than a quilt of clay? No, no. I saw him when the sun had set in water, leaning on his single oar, above his garden, faintly glimmering yet. There bulked the plough, here washed the updrifted weeds, and scull across the roof and make for shore, with twisted face and pocket full of seeds. Lastly, I'd like to read a sonnet 11. Sweeter was loss than silver coins to spend. Sweeter was famine than the belly filled. Better the blood in the vein was the blood spilled. Better than corn and healthy flocks to tend, and a tight roof and acres without end, was the barn burned, and the mild creatures killed, and the back aging fast, and all to build. For then it was his neighbor was his friend. Then for a moment the averted eye was turned upon him with benignant beam. Defiance faltered, and derision slept. He saw, as in a not unhappy dream, the kindly heads against the horrid sky, and scowled and cleared his throat and spat and wept. 4 sonnets from the Epitaph for the Race of Man by Edna St. Vincent Millay. I hope they give you something to chew on. Thinking's fun. See you next time. You'll be welcome again at Grandpa's shop.